And there's just a lot of rumors in a lot of different places. And let's just start about Phoenix. The rumblings are house cleaning. The rumblings are that they're going to get rid of CP3. And now the second rumbling is they are talking to Portland about a trade to send DeAndre Ayton to the Trailblazers. Now, I don't know whether that transaction involves Damian Lillard, who has said, if you can't get me better players in Portland so we can win, then maybe you should get me out of here. Now, that trade would give Portland an established NBA center. For some reason, there's dissatisfaction with Ayton in Phoenix. He's making mega money, but he's not the dominant guy they thought he would be. Or the other rumor was, if it's not Lillard in a deal for Ayton, it would be Ayton for the third pick in the draft and maybe one of their young wing players, Anthony Simons, who's a really good shooter. That trade kind of makes sense to me, because then Portland would have a veteran, but they'd be giving up the young forward, and they'd be giving up the third pick in the draft, which is probably going to be a good guard in Scooty Henderson. So fascinating to see what's going on in Phoenix. Your reaction?
I'm curious to see what they might do, because, Ayton is a big man. He's a 5, right? A center. And you wonder if, when they got Kevin Durant, did that change the configuration of the way they do their offense? And maybe they don't need a big man. They might want to have some guys that could create on the edge.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think the square parts round pegs fitted in Phoenix post Kevin Durant. So that's another interesting story. Third topic is what's going to happen to James Harden. This is really weird, because I have a new coach in Nick Nurse, who was just hired from Toronto. He's going to walk in there, and it's going to be his way in Philadelphia. But his players responded to him very well when he was up in Toronto. I was surprised they got booted out of Toronto. Does Harden want to stay and play for Nick Nurse? Does Harden want to opt out because he's making 36? He wants one more payday. He wants in the 40s to maybe 50. If Harden opts out, does he go to Houston? That's a burning question. I think there's another train of thought that maybe Kyrie Irving winds up in Houston also, if he can't come to some agreement with Dallas on a mega extension. Does he put himself on the table? So now you got Harden and you got Kyrie, and decisions coming there, and we got the Chris Paul decision that has to be made. So that to me, it's a lot of pieces on the chessboard about to move.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to me how these marquee names move around so much. Because remember, they had, what was it, the Larry Bird rule or something that gave the teams flexibility to sign and retain their own guys
over the cap number.
Yeah, over the cap. But now you see all the superstars move around. It's almost like the NBA has more player movement than a lot of the other sports.
Stars are running the league, and not necessarily to the good of the league. I mean, the playmakers who've been trade me right now, damn it. Have we had any success with Russell Westbrook, Harden, Kyrie? You seen any success from any of those guys moving place to place to place?
Well, Westbrook kind of had a little bit of a resurrection with the Clippers.
Yeah, but that was it. He hadn't done much prior to
Correct.
that. So fascinating to see. The other topic on the table, and this is coming out of Memphis, are they emotionally done with Ja Morant? Would they entertain moving him and his baggage and his posse to another club, and in essence, giving up on this great young talent? That remains to be seen. How much farther down the road the Memphis Grizzlies are going to be able to tolerate who this guy is, how he acts, and the fact he can't change. It's really interesting because yesterday, Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, who's going to unload on this kid as soon as the championship playoffs are over, and there will be another suspension. I hear it's going to be 40 games.
Ooh.
And that the union has signed off on 40 games and this whole gun incident. But Adam Silver said yesterday at the commissioner's press conference that Ja Morant has to do a couple of things. One is the word admittance that he is wrong, and 2, acceptance as to what the league is going to do and mandate to him, whether that's back into counseling or whether that's a half a season suspension. So the commissioner is about to drop the hammer with the union's approval, which is kind of intriguing to me, on Ja Morant. What a waste of great talent to just continue to put himself in these bad situations.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think that if you were Memphis, you'd want to retain this unique talent, this marketable figure. But if he's a lost cause character wise, you might have to cut bait. But still, you hate to sell low on that guy. I mean, he's such a talent.
It would be a mega deal for that type of talent to go somewhere else. But if somebody else willing to think a change of address is going to change who he is off the court, because that's been the issue, is what he does in his private time. Now, there's a certain segment out there, including one of his agents, that said, dude's never been charged. How can you fire a guy who's never been charged?
Fair point.
And here we go. We're going to argue about the Second Amendment now, or you're going to go back to left field? Right to bear arms?
Yeah.
And then the NBA is caught in this midstream battle with marketing. Good look for the league for one of your stars be walking around flashing weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Tough call. Oh, that's another sidebar story to watch over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing to see how this all works out. But, the Lakers have had success, drawing superstars back to LA. I wonder if there's a way that Ja Morant can find his way to SoCal.
Not with a cap.
Yeah.
Lakers got monster cap problems. And do you really want that on your team?
Yeah, fair point.
That's not what the Lakers have been all about for decades upon decades. Okay, before we